Hey guys, I'm ShangoMango and I'm part of TeamTang. In this video review, we'll be looking at Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare DLC. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare is a new DLC from Rockstar, released a few days ago. I got it a bit late, but it focuses on the zombie theme that's been going around a couple of games recently, like Call of Duty World at War, the upcoming Black Ops, Left 4 Dead, just the usual ones really that everyone seems to know nowadays. But it looks like Rockstar decided to capitalise on that for Halloween, so yeah, it's turned out really well. So let's get started. Starting off in this game, you immediately notice that when you first load it up, there's a separate option in the main menu, as it's a completely separate campaign to the original one. So people who are a bit worried about the outcome of this game affecting their main game shouldn't really need to worry at all, because Rockstar has said that it's a completely separate campaign, it's completely detached, none of it affects the main game whatsoever. There's a couple of things that happen in this game that I won't, or in this DLC, that I won't spoil, but if they did happen in the main game, then it would ruin it and make it impossible to complete, basically. So that's that out of the way. So you start off somewhere near the end of the main game. I don't want to ruin it, but you basically start off somewhere near the end of the main game if you guys haven't completed it. And John's family's been contaminated by some sort of disease or virus, which is causing the dead people to come back to life and start attacking or eating living. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare starts off when you are playing through John Marston again as the original campaign, and it basically starts off when you are back on a farm with your family, and something happens. I'm not going to spoil it in case you want to get this game, but your family get contaminated by some sort of disease or virus, which is causing the dead to rise back up and eat and kill everyone in their path, really, including all the animals. And you are wondering what the hell is going on. So the way it starts off at the start of the game is that you start riding around and you go back to the cities that you've visited in the main campaign, hopefully, at this point. And you can also meet the people that you've met before in the original campaign. And it's just a case of new missions and new side missions. And different ways of approaching things, really. So the first thing that you do really is you just jump on the back of a horse and you ride to Blackwater. And in Blackwater, you get introduced to this plague, or these hordes of undead, and it's just a way to ease you into the way that the game's changed and stuff like that. I mean, it's changed quite a lot. The way that the gameplay has changed is that the original campaign really focused on you taking cover and using this cover to pop out, take shots, and use your dead eye in really fancy ways. Whenever you could, or whenever you had the bar to do it. But in this particular one, the first weapon you get is a flaming torch, and that says quite a lot, really, because the way that the enemies work is they pretty much just overrun you, and you're constantly surrounded by. So this game is not really focusing on the cover aspects anymore, and it's really focused towards the run and gun type of market. I loved the way the original game went, where taking cover was quite a way to survive, and it was a complete necessity. But if you're expecting more of the same in that regard, then you're going to be a bit disappointed, because this game completely turns it up on its head, and instead of being a cover based game, it's going to be a run and gun sort of game. and it's just a matter of moving and rolling and jumping out of the way all the time. So keep that in mind before you decide to purchase it. But to me, it was quite a refreshing change. I'm not going to say it was a bad thing or not. It was just a nice way to experience things. I do prefer the cover system because it provided a more cool system and added some fluidity to battle, but in this it's just a mess. You go around and shooting everything, but it helps with the game because everything's a zombie and you know, there's no control to their actions. There should be no real set control to your actions, so you should be just running away as much as you can anyway. So in that regard, it works. It works because it's a running. You should be running from zombies, and they overrun you, so that's the way it goes. Red Dead Redemption also has some, or Undead Nightmare has also some new things and aspects to it. There's new weapons. I think there's 3 new weapons. There's new types of things you can do to the weapons. There's more explosive type weapons, and it's just really good. As they're completely different to, completely out of their mind sort of weapons that you would not really expect from a serious game like Red Dead Redemption. But again, this is also a refreshing change. With this one, they've got some sort of comedy and light-hearted approach to the game. Also, and this is reflected in the story as well. So in the missions and all the side quests and the stories and stuff like that, you always get some sort of humour injected into either the dialogue or the actions of the characters, and there's plenty of it. It's a pretty funny game. So also you also get new mounts and horses, so you get a couple of new horses. One really cool thing, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it already, is you get the ability to ride on the 4 horses of the apocalypse: famine, pestilence, war, and death. And each of the horses have their own special powers, which help in destroying all the zombie hordes in awesome ways. And there's also undead horses about. You get the occasional horse which is still alive. You normally find these at outposts, or you get one at the start of the game, for example, at your ranch. But the undead horses have unlimited stamina, but they're also unpredictable. So they tend to completely go to the opposite of your command, so you can be telling it to turn right and it will go left. And this happens every now and again, and it seems to increase in frequency when you're moving at a faster pace. So there's a couple of places in this game where, especially in Nuevo Paraíso, which is Mexico, where you're close to the edge of the water, and you could pretty much fall in if you're riding one of these undead horses. So even though they're all about and they're useful for the fact that they never run out of stamina, it's also a bad thing because it's a big risk taking it, really. Also, bounties have been replaced by missing persons, so it's pretty much the same thing, except for you've got to kill zombies surrounding these missing persons. You've got to take them back to Las Hermanas or Fort Mercer. It's pretty much the same thing, but yeah, that's part of it. These are required to complete the 100% achievement that you get for this. What I did was I left it to the end. It was really long-winded, and I really shouldn't have mixed things up and did it in between missions. But the things you get rewarded with at the end of the game as well make things a lot easier. So if you do fancy doing these missions after you complete the storyline, then yeah, go ahead. It's easier, but just a bit tad boring if you're looking for that achievement. Okay, talking about the weapons, there's a couple of new weapons. Like on the cover of the box, you get there's a blunderbuss. Yeah, that's a pretty good weapon for thinning out hordes of undead. And there's just stuff like holy water and dynamite, which you can use in bait that you can get for the undead as well. Also, there's also a couple of new types of special undead. It's sort of like Left 4 Dead in that respect. There's you get like the sort of the charger fat zombie, You got the crawling zombies which move really fast and rush towards you, but they move really unpredictably, so it's quite hard to get headshots on them without using the Deadeye. And there's also spitters which shoot acid at you, and there's a standard zombie as well, and it just mixes things up a bit. And it's always a bit surprising when you get charged at the back, or you're riding a horse and you get hit with acid, or you're riding a horse again and then the crawlers come up to you and knock you over somehow. But it keeps things different, and it keeps things on their toes a bit. Overall, I think the game was worth a purchase. I got 800 points for £6, and I'd say that was worth the experience I got. If you are a bit unsure and you're waiting for a bit of money for other games, especially with quite a few new games coming out soon, I wouldn't hesitate to just wait and buy it at another time. But if you're a big fan of Red Dead Redemption and it's multiplayer, then I recommend getting this, because it adds quite a few new modes to it, and it's generally good fun. So yeah, I hope you like this review, and we'll be doing more like this in the future. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you like and redesign. And yeah, thank you for watching.